mental health, a complex expression that encompasses our emotional, mental, and social well-being. Childhood traumas, long-term stresses, and social stance are just a few of the various different factors that play into the quality of our mental health. But you would be surprised to know that there are many different science-based habits that you could utilize to maximize different aspects of your mental health. These habits work on boosting your mood, sense of fulfillment, productivity, while reducing levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. And while these may not solve deeper, more complex issues that maybe therapy or medical treatment are required for, they are a conservative starting point. Full disclosure, I'm not a medical expert, and this video is backed by research that has its own biases and limitations, so be sure to do your own research. Step 1. Do the basics. Sleep, exercise, and proper nutrition. People often underestimate the impact that these three pillars have on our mental health. Inadequate sleep, a deficient diet, and lack of exercise all cause their respective issues, but the common denominator across all three are increased levels of anxiety and depression. So taking the steps to ensure that you are getting an adequate amount of sleep, proper nutrition, and an adequate amount of exercise every day is the foundation for improving your mental health. Speaking from personal experience, this is the most instantaneously rewarding activity on this list. A few studies have shown that when people make small talk with strangers, their moods drastically improve, they feel more fulfilled, more optimistic, and have a stronger sense of belonging in their community. And this makes sense. There's a level of self-confidence that develops within us when we're able to overcome our social fears and connect with others. I don't think a lot of people do this, sadly, because of modern day social norms, social anxiety, and hesitancy to talk to people that they don't know. But I can say that for those of us that are willing to make these small steps to connect with others in your community, you will feel a difference in your life. There's this feeling you get when you're completely in the zone working on something creative. You're completely absorbed in the activity and you find yourself in a state of flow. It's a concept that I talk about frequently on this channel. Interestingly enough, studies have shown that spending time on creative goals can increase positive emotions, lessen depressive symptoms, reduce stress, decrease anxiety, and even improve immune system functioning. So, for optimal mental health, make sure that you have or pick up some fun hobbies that allow you to express yourself in creative ways. There's a reason that people say that laughter is the best medicine. And I think you'll notice that when you spend time with funny people, you naturally feel better. And that's because laughter lowers the body's level of stress hormone cortisol, raises levels of beta endorphins, the feel-good chemical, and allows us to burn a small number of calories due to a rapid increase in heart and respiratory rate. Those that spend time outdoors intuitively feel the impact that nature has on them. It's almost a reset button for all the emotional baggage that we carry around. Research experiments have found that being exposed to natural environments improves working memory, cognitive flexibility, and attentional control. And funny enough, spending lots of time in urban environments is linked with attention deficits. There's an interesting study that showed that when people plan their day in reverse, starting from the last thing they need to do in the day, all the way back to the present moment, as opposed to chronological planning, they showed greater motivation, higher goal expectancy, and reported less time pressure and better goal-relevant performance. And these factors play into the quality of our mental well-being. So if you struggle with productivity and planning, definitely give this a try. There's a power in being alone with your thoughts. When you spend time doing nothing, you're forced to confront the thoughts you avoided and give your mind the space to express itself in creative ways that spark unique and innovative ideas. By making practice of doing nothing, we develop our problem-solving skills, creativity, sense of meaning, and improve our mood. I believe this is true even when we do mundane things. If you ever watched the series Big Bang Theory, there's a scene where Sheldon, a genius physicist, pretends to work at a restaurant. He performs these mundane tasks as a busboy, which allow his mind to wander. And through doing so, he figures out the solution to his problem. Many academics, such as Andrew Huberman, have preached about the importance of getting sunlight, especially early in the morning. The science shows that early morning sunlight helps to regulate our circadian rhythm, spike cortisol levels at the ideal time of day, and monitor other biological responses. Simply put, getting sunlight early in the day has an important impact on our mood and our productivity. And the effort to reward ratio of going outside for 15 minutes in the morning makes this a no-brainer. I think it's no secret that social media and YouTube itself have an incredibly toxic effect on our mental health. While these aren't the only apps that people have on their phone, they are the ones that are used the most often and the ones that are the most problematic. Many studies show that extreme smartphone usage and social media usage and depression are heavily linked. So if your phone time is over a couple hours a day and you're feeling overstimulated, anxious, depressed, etc., put barriers in place to reduce your phone time. This is probably a bit contradictory, but I do have a few videos going over this topic, so feel free to check those out. Spending quality time with your friends and family has a drastic impact on your mental health. So not only should you spend time with your friends and family because you care about them, but also do it because it's good for you mentally. Having a positive bubble around you will help to reduce stress levels, improve self-esteem, and overall give your life a greater sense of purpose. So do try to spend time with people that you can be vulnerable around and that you trust. But also be aware of the people that you do surround yourself with that maybe aren't worthy of that trust. As long as you're comfortable with the animal, studies have shown that interacting with creatures decreases levels of cortisol, blood pressure, and can reduce feelings of loneliness. So whenever you're feeling stressed, maybe go steal your friend's dog and play with them for a little bit. If you've consumed any of Jordan Peterson's content, you know one of his foundational pieces of advice to the youth is to
clean up your room.
More importantly than acting as a form of stress and anxiety relief, cleaning your room allows you to demonstrate your competence locally. And if wielded properly, this can allow us to demonstrate our competency in broader ranges. It's well known that consistent journaling and meditation can have a drastic impact on our mental health. These practices can help with managing anxiety, reducing stress, and coping with depression. And to be honest, these aren't habits that I practice consistently. Although I can say that when I'm feeling anxious or overwhelmed, or on the opposite end, creative and productive, I do often turn to my notepad to journal or a short meditation session. And even if you use in these tactical moments, maybe once or twice a week, I think they will still have some level of effect on your mental well-being. You might be surprised to know that caffeine actually has a lot of different benefits for you. Okay, let me rephrase that. Moderate and timed caffeine intake can have a variety of benefits for you. And the term moderate is a bit subjective. Personally, I can't have more than 2 cups of coffee a day without having trouble falling asleep. So you really have to figure out what moderate means to you. But moderate caffeine intake has been associated with less depressive symptoms, fewer cognitive failures, and improved mood. And to optimize the effects, it's best to wait 90 to 120 minutes after waking up before you consume caffeine. This is the amount of time it takes for the cortisol in our system to peak and the window after which caffeine consumption is most effective. Most of us sing, listen, create music in some capacity, and there are powerful mental effects that come along with listening to music. Many studies have shown that listening to music can lower your blood pressure and your heart rate, and even lower stress hormones in your body. Music also helps us to express emotions, treat psychological disorders, and helps us to develop coping strategies to deal with negative thoughts. But as with everything on this list, music must be utilized tactically and with moderation. For example, listening to music with heavy bass is perfect for the gym when you need that mental energy to get you through a strong lift, but maybe not so much effective when you're trying to relax in the evening and fall asleep. Listen to non-lyrical and classical music during or before study sessions to trigger your brain to absorb information. But also listen to your body when you don't need external stimulation to allow your mind to relax and slow down. Anyway, these are 17 science-based habits for you to implement into your daily routine. You might already be doing some of these or even most of these already, but knowing how to effectively utilize these habits and also how to time them properly to get the majority of the benefits are extremely important. So if you learned something valuable in this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, now get off the internet.